I'm gonna give you the top 7 calisthenic exercises that you can use whenever you have time to get more explosive and a little bit stronger. And we're gonna start right now. Okay, so what are calisthenics? If we can look at it as plain and simple as they are, it's essentially using body weight to stimulate some form of adaptation. Now, think about, we have a lack of time. We don't have time to go to the weight room, so we can use our body weight to execute these movements. Maybe we don't want to go to the weight room. Think about during COVID, at the peak of COVID, most weight rooms were shut down. So what we had to resort to was actually doing a lot of calisthenics at our home, in our basement, in our garage, along those lines. Maybe we want to just improve our body control. If we use calisthenics, we can actually enhance our body awareness and help us be a little bit more athletic, help us be a little bit more coordinated, because we're just using our body to stimulate adaptations. We might be using, you know, a bar to do pull-ups on, or maybe a tree branch, something along these lines. But for most situations here, in these top 7 exercises, we're just using our body weight. Okay, so that first key exercise is a Bulgarian split squat. Now, for starters, there's nothing Bulgarian about it. I believe that was just a marketing ploy. I hate the term Bulgarian split squat. We call it single leg squat, but this is a great exercise to improve stability, to improve hip mobility, and to really cheat code and isolate that posterior chain. Okay, so we like to do simple, normal movements with a slow eccentric. We might go unbroken, or we can even do it with a little bit of a hop, but it's a great movement. Now, if we're at a park, we can use a park bench. We can sit there and put that foot a little bit higher. Now, it will be a little bit higher than a typical single leg roller. You'll actually feel that mobilize your quad and your hip on your back leg. And then finally, if I'm at home, I can use a kitchen chair. I can put my back leg up on my couch. I have no excuses to not be able to do a single leg squat. So for starters, if you need the single leg roller pad and you need a balance pad, you can go to Garage Strength Equipment and pick up our Garage Strength specialty single leg roller. And if you don't want to pick that up, you can use that park bench, you can use the sofa, you can use your kitchen chair to train your hips and that unilateral strength. Okay, the second calisthenic exercise that I love, and I did a ton of this during COVID, and when I travel, if I'm all over the place, you'll see me do this in bathrooms, you'll see me do this against hotel walls, but this is going to be a handstand push-up. Now, before you say that you can't do one, I have some alternatives that you can use to help improve your handstand push-up. So one of the things that I like to do, I would recommend using a balance pad for a target for where you can put your head. And if you're in the gym, you can actually stack up bumper plates or use a parallel. That's gonna help you get a little bit more range of motion. But I like to use, okay, right here, put my hands just outside of the balance pad. Let's go a little bit closer. And this might take a couple times of just figuring out that target, okay? So we're here, come down, back up. And then as you get a little more comfortable, you can lengthen your legs. One more. Boom. Now, I'm seeing stars. That's the first step behind doing a handstand push-up. If you can do it, just get right into it. I like to use this to increase my shoulder strength. It drastically improves my military press, and it's easy to do inside of a hotel room or at home. And even using one leg or bending both legs can make it a little bit easier. And then if you want to increase that load, you extend both legs and you have to be a little bit more balanced. Now, one way to make this a little bit simpler is to use a park bench or to use a box or use anything that you have at your house, steps, whatever you need. We'll use a bench in this position, okay? And what we can do is get to a point where we can start to raise our butt up and just start here, okay? And then the closer we bring that bench, the easier it is to raise your butt more vertical. So if the bench is further away, you're gonna do like a higher level push-up. If you pull the bench in, now you can slowly progress into the point where then you can get your feet up onto the wall and execute that overhead push-up. Okay, that third key calisthenic exercise, and this is a movement that I love to use no matter what. If I'm sitting in an airport, I'll use this. If I was at home during COVID, I use this. If we're traveling, even with my best athletes in the world, we will use this movement, and it's going to be a jump lunge. So we're here, jump in place, and do a little split position. And to make it a little more challenging, you can pause, jump, jump, rotate, and you can add in your little flavor, but it's a great movement to light up your posterior chain, your glutes, your hamstrings, and even to the point where sometimes if you want to get some hypertrophy work, do a set of 30 straight on each leg and you will be dead that next day. So use jump lunges. It's a great leg calisthenic exercise to help you improve your strength throughout your hips, your quads, and your glutes. And I'm still out of breath. Okay, so the next exercise is going to be upper body. Okay, so we wanna blow up our triceps, blow up our shoulders, blow up our pecs. This is going to be an explosive push-up. We don't have any equipment, so we're gonna be focusing on gaining strength with just our body. So we can start with explosive push-ups, then clap push-ups, and then one of my all-time favorites would be if you have a line here. I call those gorilla push-ups. Now, if we're at home or we're at a park, we can use benches to go to as targets. So we can do, an explosive push up to a bench here. I have even used couches in the past, and even if you're at home, you can use chairs like this here. So use explosive push-ups, they'll blow up your bench press. I always say 50 explosive push-ups a day until you can bench press 350. Before we continue with the rest of the calisthenic exercises that you can use to improve your strength, we've got to talk about recovery. I love using supplements from Earth-Fed Muscle. You can get the whey protein, 40 winks to improve your sleep, and Transcend Creatine to help you produce a large amount of power so you can get more explosive and feel better from workout to workout. Now that we have you recovered from that last workout, let's talk about the next exercise that you can use to improve your athleticism. Okay, that next calisthenic exercise is gonna be something that you can use to improve your trunk control, and that's gonna be a pause V-up, okay? Now, pay attention, because a lot of people will do V-ups where their lower back is like this, okay? If this is you, this is not right. Do not do this, okay? If I shift up, now I'm in the V position, okay? So I'm gonna go here, up to my butt, and pause. And I'm not doing a good job pausing right now. There we go. You can see how challenging these are. Oh my God, I suck. There we go, right there. This is where we want to be. Our butt is the point of contact, not our lower back. This is a totally different movement, okay? Do sets of 17 to 20 and your core will be lit up. And sometimes I'll even throw in one set of 50 until I'm dead if I'm working out in a hotel room or if I'm at home. Okay, so that sixth calisthenic exercise is going to be a pistol squat, okay? So if I'm standing on a box, and I'm gonna give you a couple different variations that you can use to get to this point. I'm not overly warmed up, this is gonna be hard. So I like to use a box, and I can come down, drive back up, okay? This is gonna light up my quads, it's gonna help with my hip, it's gonna help with my ankle mobility. Oh yeah. Okay, and also it's gonna help with any structural problems that you have side to side based off of which side's your strong side, which side's your weak side. So this is the first example, just a traditional pistol squat. That next example is going to be using a step as a point of where you're gonna be standing. And so when you're on the stairs, you can use this as a point for your butt to touch here and come up. You can even sit back a little bit more here and use your hands to come up, and that will make it a little bit easier. And then that final variation of the pistol squat is using a bench or a couch or a chair. You have no excuses, okay? And we can go nice and easy. And again, if you need to, you can push up. If you don't want to, you can even cheat a little bit and get some swings from the arm. But the main goal is that you want to light up the quads, strengthen both sides of your legs, and pistol squat is a great calisthenic exercise that you can use. Okay, that last exercise is going to be a pull-up. Now, if you don't have access to a bar, one thing that I did, I was the heavy kid. My mom always said I was husky. Okay, so I was the husky kid that always wanted to do a pull-up so I could get something on the Presidential Fitness Award. Okay, one of those tests back in the day that when we were growing up, we got this award if you could do a pull-up. And I struggled to do that, but I would jump up onto a tree, okay, and I would jump up on the tree limb and try and do slow eccentrics, and that can help you get to the point of doing a pull-up. You know, if you have access to a bar, you could use a towel around this. A lot of people do this down in their basements, and that's a way to execute a great calisthenic exercise that can stimulate growth in your lats and your biceps. Okay, so get creative. Use all these movements as calisthenic movements that you can do at home, that you can do in your spare time, that you can do while you're traveling. There's no excuses. You can get all this work done and stimulate an adaptation which will help you get stronger. If you need a program, a bodyweight program, we have a ton of bodyweight programs at the link down below in the description. You can head over to garagestrength.com, pick up a bodyweight program today. Until next time, guys, remember, freaks, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace.